One small correction, in fact, George Bernard Shaw, uh, I haven't been able to find that his father was a Freemason. Haven't been able to check it. However, it does look like he wrote a novel in which one of the characters at some point explains that his father was a Freemason and wanted him to join the organization, which he refused. Okay, moving on to other things. Um, the Apollo astronauts had watched the film 2001 before they set foot, officially at least, on the moon. This is not the moment for me to go into the whole debate of the moon hoax landing, the moon landing hoax. Um, I do suspect that at least part of what was shown on cameras of the footage was doctored, or at least some footage was suppressed. It is possible that some may have been shot in a soundstage in Nevada, as the myth has it, or the legend has it. There are certainly interesting references to that, but this is not the moment for me to go there. My suspicion is that perhaps there was an anti-gravitic system involved in the Apollo mission, or something that was kept under wraps. And absolutely, the astronauts did spot domes or other ED structures on the moon, and they actually went there to see them closely. And this was all this footage was sequestered, but now Bob Dean is showing it in conferences, so you can look into that. There's one more thing I want to show about the year 1968, when the film 2001 came out, and also the novel came out. In this year, 1968, a New Zealander named Bruce Cathie published his first book, which was titled Harmonic 33. This is another later book by Bruce Cathie, who has a website now that you can look into. Aesthetically, the research of Bruce Cathie is somehow repellent to me. It repels me because of the way I have been brought up in academia. His mathematics kind of strike me as ugly or impossible or implausible, because for instance, he adds up quantities of what looks like quantities of different dimensions and so forth, like apples and oranges, in his so-called unified equations. But I think he's definitely onto something, and he's being visited by intelligence people. And of course, his main thesis is that the nuclear detonations, in particular Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Remember, Nagasaki took place, as we have said, close to the 33rd parallel. They don't just happen because a bomb goes off and explodes. They happen because of a specific timing, and the location and the timing is important and resonates with the harmonics of space to make it happen. And Bruce Cathie also relates this to UFOs and the geometrical location of certain sacred places on Earth, like Stonehenge, or even the pyramids on Mars. And I definitely think he's onto something. Whether his conclusions are accurate or not, I cannot judge. I have not checked his mathematics, but he's definitely worth looking into. To me, the most important thing is this fact that his first book was Harmonic 33. So here's the Masonic number 33. And it came out in the year 1968, which is the only year in human history that happened 33 years before 2001. And of course the novel 2001 was released in 1968. To me, it is obvious that this is all part of a long-term plan by the Illuminati to bring in something, and there might even be a collapse of the wave function of future space-time realities being brought in, even a time loop, or you know, some time warp phenomenon, or something, because this whole thing 2001 can really get you mad, or make you go bonkers if you think about it too much. But let's move on to something else, because today I wanted to post this today because today is the only day in history that is gonna go down as September 11th, 2010. Now, we all know what happened on September 11, 2001, or we'll get into that later on as we go through the story. But I wanted to post this on September 11, 2010, just 9 years after the fact, and in the year 2010, because Arthur C. Clarke also had his doubling with his toying, his flirting with his prophetic, eerily prophetic mention of September the 11th as well. And for this we have to fast forward to 1972, when the novel Rendezvous with Rama was published, which earned Arthur Clarke the Hugo and Nebula Award. And with hindsight, what is astonishing about this novel is, of course, Clarke's eerie prediction of a cataclysmic event happening on a September the 11th. Now, in the novel, and this is the first page of the novel, chapter 1, titled Space Guard, and we're gonna see how everything fits together in ways that can make you go crazy here. So on this first page, let's see if you can see the bottom of the page. There it is. Says at 9:46 GMT on the morning of September the 11th. There you can see it. Yeah. This cataclysmic event happened. Of course, this is September the 11th, 2077 in the novel. And the catastrophe is not planes being flown into the World Trade Center, or rather the World Trade Center towers being brought into dust by whatever really happened on September the 11th. I think that the planes were later superimposed on the film, but we'll get into that later on. Here in the novel, it is an asteroid that smacks the Earth, and totally destroying Padua, which is the Italian city where Galileo had taught, and the name Galileo will happen later on, will recur later on. 1972, the year of the release of this of Rendezvous with Rama, happens to be 29 years before 2001, and 29 years is the period of revolution of Saturn around the Sun. 2 plus 9, 29, 2 plus 9, totaling 11, which is the number of destruction, which happens obsessively also in everything related to September the 11th. We'll get into that. as well.